Okay, guys, so what you're looking at here is my basic 4-2-3-1 narrow attacking tactic. Back to front, so I have a regular goalkeeper on defend. We have two wingbacks on attack. They're going to provide most of the width down in the opposing box to stretch the opposition. I have two central defenders on defend. My two main midfielders, so I have one ball-winning midfielder on support and one box-to-box midfielder on support. In the attacking midfield, we have two attacking midfielders, and then one advanced playmaker, and then up top is our poacher. Okay, guys, so looking now a little deeper into the tactic, we'll kind of walk back to front. So we have a regular goalkeeper defend, no special instructions for him. I let him choose if he wants to distribute short or if he wants to kind of go upfield. In a game, if we're having possession issues, I will ask him to distribute short if the midfield isn't strong or isn't winning those particular aerial battles as it would be. Our left fullback on this one, so our wingback attack, his only particular instruction is to stay wide. I'm looking for him, as well as his opposite number, to stretch the field, especially down near the opposition box. Again here, since at this particular level, we're not going to be good enough for ball-playing defenders, and what I'm really looking for is somebody to get possession and then recycle it back up the field quickly, which is more in the standard ball-playing defender mentality. So we're going to try and simulate it with this. So I have on a central defender defend, and then I ask him to pass more directly. Same thing with his opposite number. I'm looking for them to get the ball up the field very quickly. Again, we look at the other side. So our right wing back, again on attack, because we're looking to push numbers forward with this particular tactic, and then he's got the stay wider instruction. Now, moving into the midfield, this is where the press starts. So the press is a high press. I want my upfield and attacking players, as soon as we lose possession, to start scrambling in and pushing possession back on. So I have a box-to-box midfielder who's going to run wide with the ball to try and also expand the width of the field. He'll move into the channels and he'll start to close down more. My ball-winning midfielder, I want him to, if he's got the ball, to kind of run wide again to stretch a little bit back here. But the other pieces, I want him to hold. I want him to kind of hold in the middle of the park. So he's going to sort of act like a high defensive midfielder in this particular tactic. The goal being we want to compress the opposition into their half as best we can. During possession, and then in transition win it back as quickly as possible. I don't have him on close down more because that's his natural tendency as a ball winning midfielder is to close down and regain possession as quickly as possible. Next we have our attacking midfielder, so his job is to close down more as well as running wide with the ball. So if he's got the ball, get out wide with the overlap and look to create width, so almost to create wings out of this. Our advanced playmaker, similar in the sense that we're going to close down more again. I want him to move into channels and stay forward, so I want possession to come to him, and then for him to be up forward to kind of work the ball, distribute, and start the attacking moves as quickly as possible. And then same thing on my other one, close down more and then run wide with the ball. And then the poacher, his job is to close down more. So to act as a farther upfield, more aggressive, almost defensive forward. So I want him to close down and push the pressure on, but I want him to be a poacher because I want him to be lurking around the box looking for goal-scoring opportunities. And then the last piece, so the overall instruction. So as you can see, I don't have close down more on natively, as I have specific players that I want closing down and specific players that I don't. I do play a much higher tempo, and I do want the goalkeeper to have short distribution prevented. That also has the added effect of keeping my striker dragged upfield more, so if we recycle quickly, he's in a better position. We do look for the overlap, play wider, and play a much higher defensive line. That does leave us vulnerable to through ball goals, and we'll look a little bit at some of the clips of types of goals this concedes. I do like more direct passing. We want to work the ball into the box, clear the ball to the flanks, which is going to most often be clearing in space. So I'll have guys pulling apart to get to get the ball, and then because my striker isn't all that particularly tall, we're going to go with whipped crosses on that front there. Okay, guys, so the first goal that we're going to look at is very typical of how this particular tactic attacks. So in this case, it's going to attack a lot like a 4-3-3. So you'll watch, the goal will build up in to the midfield, they'll get it out wide, and then my wingback will cross it in, and you'll see the two attacking midfielders plus the striker up front in there, with my advanced playmaker dropping back to work with the ball winning midfielder and the box to box midfielder on that side to kind of act as that middle three in that sense. And then we have the two wing backs will be pushing up to provide extra width on that to attack to bring two more attacking wide players to help pull apart the defense. So underway here, you can see we get into the midfield, it goes right back out, again out wide, and then boom, whips the cross right in there, volleys into the net, and there we go. Okay, guys, so in the second goal, this is going to be typical. So it ends up being an own goal on them, but what's going on is also typical of what you're going to see in the particular tactic again. So we'll get underway. So again, you'll see we've got the midfield. So play is really working out of the midfield. You can see we've got their back line pretty flat. If you'll notice, there's one defender who's already got his back turned, and the central defender in the middle of the park is going to make the turn. Our midfielder's got plenty of options forward, so he's got a striker, another midfielder we can kind of pass laterally back, but we also have hanging out. We have more of one of the wide attacking midfielders is about to make a run, and you'll see we pass it up and then right through the killer through ball there, and the defense is forced into making a tackle to stop the through ball, and unfortunately puts it into his own net, but very likely a goal for us one way or the other. Okay, so this goal is going to be very typical of the type of goals conceded. So we're very vulnerable formation-wise on the break. As you can see at the start here, they've got two guys back and my two center backs covering it, but most of my team is pushed up high. So they get a long ball out to their striker who starts to move out. So you'll notice I've got four back, and they've got four in the attack with us. And then there's another four coming in support, and I've got five trailing behind the play. So we're obviously in a little bit of trouble here. So what's going to end up happening is our midfield is going to be screaming back and aggressively trying to back tackle here and back check some. So what we're going to end up with in this situation is aggressive defense is going to put us into a high mistake point. Is going to put us into a high mistake. So as you can see, we get it in, we go to make the tackle, but it puts it right into the onrush and into the net. So either way, you can also see just quickly at the end here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 defenders back, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're definitely outmanned on the break here, and that's pretty typical of how this formation lets goals in. Okay, guys, so that's just a little picture and insight into my my Whitehawk and my Vanarama South attacking press tactic that I've used. So we finished 5th, 4th, and 3rd in the league on this one. We've been pushing for promotion with it. Haven't quite succeeded yet, but you can see we score on average about 90 goals a season. My striker's good for, in this system, he's been good for about 33 goals a season on this. So you're definitely going to put goals in. Now, there are vulnerabilities, and it does need to be tweaked and adjusted to sew some of those up. And I'll obviously be working on that. So maybe in FM16 I'll have a version of this, and we'll talk further. But if you got any questions, feel free to hit me up on Twitter at FM Yank, or look for me in the FM Central Facebook group, and I'd be happy to talk more about it. So until next time, guys, bye now.